Education. Sir, with brief introduction, I would like to welcome and request you to for deliver the talk. Sir, thank you. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Visual.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir.
The Honorable Principal of the College, Dr. S.H. Hosmaniji, and the earlier speakers who spoke so nicely on the impact of COVID-19 in particular and higher education status and strategies to be implemented in future in general. Dr. Harish Ramaswamiji, the Vice Chancellor of Raichur University. And the second speaker also spoke so nicely, Dr. G. Ramareddy from the Central University of Andhra Pradesh, and all the dignified faculty members of the college, and my dear participants, not only from Karnataka and from India, it's also from around the globe. I came to know that many participants are registered from different countries too. So which makes really special and very unique. The reason why I'm telling these points are, we know that the whole world has suffered a lot from this COVID-19. Every nation has tried its level best to adjust, to make the changes according to the needs in all aspects of life. And naturally, we all the teachers also made from a webinar really makes a big impact on our introspection, on our planning, as well as how best we can handle it so that we could reach the aims of education in a very significant manner. So I would like to present with special and its challenges and probable solutions also with a PowerPoint presentation. And I hope my PPT is visible to you all. Dr. Vaijnath?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you see my PPT?
Professor Dange, carry on. We are seeing your PPT.
Yeah, we are seeing the PPT, sir.
It's visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Carry on, sir. Carry on, Dr. Ji. Professor Dange ji.
Sir,
Yes, we are seeing, sir.
Yes. Can you see the PPT? Okay, and I request,
definitely.
all the participants to please mute their mics so that there will be no any disturbance in the presentation. It's a kind request.
Mute yourself.
Like this. So I would like to give you brief the functions of higher education and what kind of status we are having at present. I would like to also give you the whole picture of the country in terms of its status, and as well as with special reference to Karnataka, because that is the main focus of this presentation. And I will also give you the brief idea about how the admission process is going on, what kind of students have been enrolled. whole learning process, gain the knowledge, development procedure have, so that we can develop a very quality kind of a content for our students and even the staffs and appointments of the colleges and universities. And at the end, I will also give you a brief idea about how to overcome the challenges of examination, which everybody is thinking of now. And at the end, I'll also highlight few challenges and expectations of this COVID-19 effect, as well as what the WHO, UNESCO, and UG had the examination to overcome the problems. Three important functions of the higher education really made us to, it has really pushed us to a very great corner that we couldn't think of neither teaching nor research or either the extension activities. So all the activities have been hampered because of the COVID-19. And the next important thing we have to understand is, in a global perspective, India is the third largest higher education system in the world. And we have almost 3.85 crore students who have enrolled to the undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD programs, which comes around 27.1% of gross enrollment ratio. And with that, almost 14 lakh teachers are working in this sector. And we have more than 1,000 universities, 42,000 colleges, and 11,000 standalone institutions who are working. And according to the ICPCHEICC report of 2019-20, we have 396 universities who are privately managed, and 420 universities are located in rural areas. The reason why I have considering these two important factors are our higher education. Higher education. These are the two important things. Universities, and most of them are the general universities. Almost 552 general universities. We have 177 technical universities, 63 agriculture universities, medical universities, 23 law universities, and 12 Sanskrit and other language universities, and 145 the other category universities, which means we have a lot of varieties of universities prescribed for a particular discipline or a field. And even for per lakh eligible population, which is 18 to 23 age limit, the college or the institution number also varies. On an average, we have 30 institutions for per lakh UG and PG students in the entire country, whereas only the Karnataka, which is having 59 institutions, which is the highest in the entire country. And we have the students enrollment for different courses also. Like for BA, it is the most students who have enrolled, almost 30. And BCom program, the very important thing I have to highlight here is the student population is a little bit higher than the male population, and even the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, which comes a little bit lesser than the general as well as the normal population. Institutions we have, and next is list of that, just for your kind reference. And the Bangalore urban is having more than 1,000 institutions which means higher education institutions, colleges and universities are we have 60% of the colleges, as I told, in the rural areas, and even the teacher-student ratio is 28, which is really higher than
So I think that there is a network issue. Jagannath sir?
privately managed institutions. And this is the very important one is the health, and the second is the teaching learning process. If you just see the table, neither the universities nor the colleges are having 100% infrastructure in any of the aspects. You take playground, you take theaters, libraries, element possess percent infrastructure, which means that we were lacking before pandemic also. We were lacking in the health aspects, we were lacking in the connectivity, we were lacking in the infrastructural elements also. In that case, how the COVID could have impacted is a big question to be answered by all or to be introspected by all. And these are the 69 type of universities we have. Which are serving number are naturally high than the government institutions. And even the students ratio is quite natural that just 4,62,000 students are studying in government institutions, whereas it's almost 11.8 lakh students are studying in privately managed institutions. Either it may be aided or unaided. And even the unaided institutions are serving to a greater extent to the stakeholders of higher education, especially in terms of colleges. And next comes, yes, how best this pandemic situation has created a havoc in everybody's life. We know that it has really made us to knee down because of lack of healthcare facilities. It's not just the poor, even the rich people have lost their lives because of lack of healthcare facilities. And that's the reason why in 2020, the central government has announced the food package for 80 crore poor families, which means in 145 crore people, 80 crore people are from poor background. That's the reason why they announced it. This is one of the elements we should understand, that what kind of people are living in this country and what kind of students are coming from the different family backgrounds. And not only that, even the institutions, the good teachers who are working in the universities and colleges have lost their lives. So which was a big loss for the national intellectual capital and the scholarship. That was a big concern. And till today, there is lack of serious considerations for the safety issues. Till today, we haven't made our institutions secure enough to invite the students and teachers to work in a better manner. And most of our students come from a rural background. And still in India, actually, most of the people have no internet facility. It's almost 91.2 crore people have no internet facility. If the situation is so, if the concern is this, how best we can teach the students through our institutions, and that too through online mode. If you come to know the impact in terms of two important phases, I feel COVID has really made us to think on these two important phases. The first phase was the challenging phase. It has posed the challenge directly on us. because we were not ready for that. Actually, our infrastructure was not ready, and we were not so competent enough to design the online content and take the online classes. Hence, it was so challenging for all the students, teachers, and even to the managements. They couldn't handle it quite properly. And the second important phase was the opportunity phase. Yes, it has really provided ample opportunity for all of us to think in a different direction, to work in a different manner. Because the roles of the teachers itself changed. We started to photograph something, we became videographers, we started to write the scripts, video editing softwares we have learned, and we came to know many hardwares and software. And this is the reason why we could develop, we could prepare good quality content which can be disseminated to the students through online mode. So hence the teacher's role have been changed. That was a big opportunity for all the teachers. And the second important thing is we came to know the different repositories, because in online platform, digital content is available, which is free also. And earlier to COVID-19, many of the teachers were not able to trace it out, not able to use it in their regular classroom. But now we came to know the different repository, and we are using it quite flawlessly nowadays. And the third important opportunity it has provided was the institutional structure. We used to thought before COVID-19 that the teaching learning process could only be carried out in the classrooms, in the conventional mode. But now everyone is ready to handle the classes either online or offline mode. That's a big change the COVID has brought. And the important element is it had taught us a beautiful lesson. We became quite open-minded. We started sharing our own resources. We became more patient in listening, in disseminating. And even the very motto of education says that bringing the equality in the stakeholders, bringing equality in the society. How? By providing equal opportunity for all the learners. And with this COVID-19, with the online platforms, we could reach all the students in the same platform, and even we can consider everybody's queries and questions quite easily, and we can handle them. So that kind of a big lesson it has taught us, and we are all now ready to work on that particular motto. And we also came to know that there is no barrier like time and place. Earlier, we used to think more on time and place, but now the time and place are insensitive in online learning, in e-learning. So the content and approach is also not different. The same kind of content and approach we can use, either it is to the rich students or it is to the poor students, either it is for the rural area or it is to the urban area students. So time, place, and content approach are totally insensitive at present now. And accessibility to anybody at any point of time is possible now. And we have already imbibed that value also. We have started teaching from local to global. We have started learning from global to local. So that's a big changes the COVID-19 has brought in the teachers' teaching learning process and students' learning perspective. So hence I say the two important phases we have came across with the help of this COVID-19. And there are 4 different levels of institutions who have worked under this COVID-19. That's a big impact also, I would say. The first level is many of the institutions haven't worked, just they enjoyed the proxy vacation, and few notes have been sent through the WhatsApp. No real classes were being carried out. But second level institutions, yes, few videos were prepared and uploaded to the YouTube. Those links have been sent to with the help of emails or WhatsApps, and students have gone through those videos and written the assignments. And third kind of institutions, they have done a little bit better than the first and second. The combination of different tools have been incorporated, like the conference tools, Zoom, Skype, Google Meets were being utilized properly, and learning management softwares are also being adopted, Moodle and Google Classrooms. And not only that, even the Swayam platform, where a lot of online courses are being provided, those courses are also being utilized properly with the assessment tools like Quizlets and peer evaluation tools. So these combinations of tools are being utilized for the teaching, learning, and evaluation processes. And at the end, yes, very rigorous timetable was maintained by using all the above said tools. It may be LMS or the conference tools. So such kind of activities have been performed by 4 different varieties of institutions we can classify easily. That's also very, very big impact. And not only that, even the MHRD and state government and even colleges, they have started using the initiatives of the central government as well as the state government platforms like National Mission on Education through ICT, wherein we find Swayam programs. Again, we call it as a MOOC platform, wherein a lot of courses can also be offered and taken, which are very much equivalent to the regular courses. Most of the universities and colleges have thought of this actually to start and register their program also with the Swayam. Even the television programs are being telecasted from the National Mission, Swayam Prabha. Those programs are also being utilized. Radio programs are also being utilized. And many of the teachers and colleges started using the YouTube channels. They created it and they also prepared a lot of YouTube programs or the videos so that the students can view it and learn the content very easily. It was also a big move from the teachers. And not only that, the audio and video podcasting was also being done in many of the institutions. And teachers started publishing all the content, whatever they view, whatever they wanted to disseminate with the students. And they started maintaining their records, creation of record, maintain those records through the digital platform. Even the correction of assignments were also being done through online. So a lot of these activities are being carried out by many of the teachers in institutions. So that was really a big move from the teachers to adapt and adjust with the online platforms, which was the need of the COVID-19 effect. And we could only hear the electronic form of all the activities we could do in education. It may be teaching, it may be learning, training, monitoring, examination, evaluation, supervision, administration, and finally, that is electronic mode of education. So that was the big impact of COVID-19 on the whole education system. But in contrary to this, there are some more concerns we had. And I brought few images from the paper cuttings of the newspapers to enlighten you, to make you aware that in what situation we are really. Of course, the online mode was very much needed in the COVID-19, and most of us have used it also. But was it really feasible to all the students to access it? Was a big challenge. Was a great question which really posed us. So here, the monsoon makes attending online classes harder for rural students. That was a big concern. Until today, in Malnad regions, in the regions of Western Ghats, students unable to attend the online classes because of non-availability of internet connection. And that's the reason why few of the strategies were also used, few of the facilities were also given to the students, wherein students can access the Wi-Fi facility or Wi-Fi connectivity so that they could attend the online classes very easily. And in relation to that particular problem, yes, the state government has taken a very good move, a very good initiation to start 2,500 smart classrooms, especially in the government colleges. And it had also distributed 1.55 lakh tablet PCs to the students so that the students can learn in a better manner, even from the distant places, and they could easily understand and have that particular knowledge disseminated by the teachers in the smart rooms. So that was the move. But the very big concern of this kind of teaching and learning is the fatigue. Bangalore NIMANS has conducted a very important study on the working professionals, what kind of experience they have when they attend more webinars. And it is rightly mentioning that if you attend more webinars, naturally it leads to the fatigue. And our universities, there are a lot of vacancies in terms of teaching as well as non-teaching. This was also one of the big problem in this COVID, because teachers were not available, teachers were not appointed, and it was very difficult for all the teachers to handle all the courses, that too online. And recently we could see this notification also. In the government colleges, there are still 1,242 vacancies are there in terms of the assistant professors. So the reason why I'm telling you is, by going through all these situations, by understanding all these types of infrastructural lacunas, we could easily trace out, we could easily understand what kind of problem we could have faced. Really, I feel it was a really big challenge on the teachers and even on the students' point of view also. In terms of learning, it was a very big challenge. In terms of teaching, it was really challenging task for the teachers to handle that particular situation. Until today, teachers and students are struggling a lot in teaching as well as in learning process. Then comes really online, a good viable alternative in India, because online education requires two important things. One is accessibility and the second is equity. And these two components are the bigger problems of online education in India, because every student in this country cannot afford the internet accessibility as well as the device for the learning process. And that is a big challenge in terms of equity as well. We cannot equally consider all the students. We cannot reach equally all the students. And even in support to this, actually, the National Sample Survey also says that Indian households have 11% of computers, that's all. Which means we don't have computers, we have lack of computers in the homes, as well as we have almost just 24% of internet facilities, which means 1/3 of the Indian population still don't possess the internet facility. And when you come to the rural population, again it drops to 15%. As I was mentioning you that our 75% of the students come from rural background, and only 15% of the rural population is having internet facility and computer facility. So that's the reason why it really hampered the whole education system in terms of dissemination of knowledge or dissemination of content with the students. And even budget can also be one of the important factor which has to be considered. If you consider the budget aspect, in 2009 to 2014, there was 3.19% of total budget allocation. But when we take the example of 2014 to 19, it again came down. That proportion was also not maintained for higher education. So it came down, and in 2020, the higher education budget was just 99,300 crore rupees, which is nothing. So what has to be done then? So it is almost same of 1995 education budget. So which means the budget allocation must be enhanced so that we can give good facilities to the teachers by creating infrastructure at the institution, and we can also provide ample opportunities for the students by providing devices as well as much as internet facility. So this is the very important reason we could understand the more impact of COVID-19 because of many reasons, and budget allocation for education can be one of the important reasons. And a beautiful research has been done, and the findings of that research has been presented in July 5th University News Journal. That is done by H. Venkateshwaralu, the Vice Chancellor of Central University of Kerala. They have taken 250 teachers from the entire country and students also to know about the online platforms, the learning processes, as well as the teachers and students' use of devices. So this is the finding of that particular study, and they have presented it in the different tables. The kind of logistics of online lectures attended by the students especially was the smartphone. Most of the students use smartphone followed by the laptops. And the software used by the students are Zoom as well as Google Meet. Google Meet was used predominantly, followed by the Zoom software. And the teachers also used Zoom and Google naturally, but teachers utilized laptop as the important device for the online classes, followed by the smartphones. And the advantages were also elicited from the respondents. Students and teachers told that, yes, delivery of the lectures from any location is very easy for attending as well as delivering. Yes, it is the big advantage of online learning, which is followed by recorded lessons can be viewed and listened whenever we get the free time, and which is the third important advantage was ease in access to lecture notes and presentations or recordings. And even the use of audiovisual improves the student attention. Even students are telling that if more audiovisuals will be used in the online presentation, it is more helpful for them to understand the concept. And teachers are also opining that by using more such audiovisual aids will definitely help the teachers in creating or grabbing the attention of students. So these are some of the advantages they have elicited from the respondents. And there are few drawbacks also. Many of the students and teachers opined that lack of classroom environment is missing in online education. So what kind of discussion they could have in the online class, in the natural class, which will be definitely missing in the online, and socializing with the friends. The socialization process is missing in the online education. That is the real concern for all the teachers and students, because education need to create a socialization process in the society. So those are the two important drawbacks we can easily trace out with the help of online education. And the challenges, as I was mentioning you, that poor and inconsistent internet connectivity was a big challenge for students as well as the teachers, and difficulty in laboratory coursework was also a big challenge, because we cannot provide the lab facilities through online to a greater extent. We are not prepared for that. In future, we may give, but at present, many of the institutions are lacking that facility. And such challenges are also prevailing till today, and we have to understand and address them properly. And this is the very important perception of teachers and students in relation to the online lectures. Many of the times, the speakers and educationists, as well as the good teachers, says that online lectures are better than offline lectures. But in this survey, all the teachers and students are saying that they are strongly disagreeing and saying that online lectures are not better than the offline lectures, which means everybody is preferring the offline lectures. What could be the reason actually? Why teachers and students are opining like that? This can be a reason actually, because many of the teachers don't know how to prepare the content. See, online is a platform, that's all. And that platform can be utilized according to the need of the lesson, according to the need of the learners, according to the objectives of the education. So what needs to be done? We need to understand how the content can be disseminated to the learners by applying the different learning theories. There are a lot of learning theories. Behaviorism is there, cognitivism is there, constructivism is there. Professor Harish Ramasamy was talking quite rightly that actually we were just giving the information to memorize and write the answers. It should not be. Even in the online, we could prepare and design the content in such a manner that it should have a clear introductory remark. It should develop the content on a sound example basis. Proper illustrations must be there. And every learner has to construct his learning or her learning experience by discussing with the co-learners, by discussing with the peer learners. So that kind of platform we should provide through online. And that's the reason why I'm talking about these learning theories. Unless and until the teachers understand these learning theories, they cannot prepare good learning content material which can be disseminated, which can be handled properly through online platforms. So this is the need of the hour, and all the teachers must go through at least the basis. What are the important models of teachings are there? what are the important learning theories are there, and how best those models, strategies, approaches, methods can be utilized properly in the online platforms. So then only we can easily develop a good quality content which would be definitely motivate all the learners, and every learner will take care of his own learning process and attentively participate in the learning process, and naturally we expect mastery learning among every learners. So this is the need of the hour. And even the COVID-19 has created a lot of myths also among teachers and students. Many teachers start saying that, especially the senior teachers. They used to say that technology or online learning is not for us. It is only for the young blood. It's not like that. Every teacher has to learn the online platforms. They have to practice it rigorously. They have to learn the different software and hardware, how to use them properly, and develop the content and present your lectures through online platform. It is not for only the youngs. It's always everything for everybody. Every teacher has to adopt it. That's a one important thing. Second thing is, many of the teachers started talking about it's just a stopgap arrangement. After COVID, again the offline will come. No, this online will prevail in future also, because the embracing technology only will be survived in the future. And if we teachers are being to survive in the future, means we have to integrate all those technological gadgets, approaches, methods in our teaching learning processes. So don't think that it's just a stopgap arrangement. It will be continued throughout our career. Then the third important myth which was prevailed was, online teaching is not egalitarian actually. Equally, we cannot give the information to all, and it is not open also. No, it's not like that. If facilities will be provided to all the learners and teachers, means definitely equally we can treat all the children or all the students, and our content and knowledge will be disseminated to the entire world, not just to the students group, to the entire world we can reach. And the fourth important myth was technology eventually replace the teacher. Many teachers also perceive that if everything will be prepared online, every content will be prepared in this PowerPoint presentations or in the YouTube, what is the teacher's work then? No, for every work, teacher will be behind. So teacher's role is very important. Unless a teacher thinks, unless a teacher prepares, unless a teacher designs, the online content will not be prepared at all. So hence, the designing work, the developing work, and sharing will be done by teachers. So no technology will replace the teacher because of that human element. Technology will not replace the teacher only because of that, but every other aspect can be replaced. So hence it is very important for a teacher to add more and more approachable human elements in the online platforms, so that the technology should not be allowed to replace the teacher. And the fifth important myth is students prefer face-to-face interaction, not online teaching. Of course, the survey is also saying that, but when you prepare and design your content in such a manner that the students will feel that you are with him, the teacher is teaching to the students. So that kind of feeling, if you prepare, if you develop in your content, means definitely students will also start using online platforms for the learning. And we should be clear in our mind that the huge group of students cannot be reached by a small group of teachers. That is not possible. We have done this work since the independence, but still we haven't reached our students to a greater extent. So how best we can use the online platforms or the e-platforms effectively, so that we can think of reaching more and more students community in a more uniformed manner, as well as reaching the unreached platforms. Then the sixth important point is online teaching is not effective as face-to-face mode. Yes, of course, when a teacher is halfly or just for the sake of teaching, he prepares the content and or reads the content in front of the camera, means it will not work at all. So unless we design the content, we give the content, we prepare the PPTs, we use the images, we develop the videos, and provide that content in the different platforms also, and make our students to be in touch with us even after the class hours. Through it may be WhatsApp, through it may be blogs, or through it may be websites. So such kind of opportunities would be really beneficial for the teachers for reaching more and more students, and even for the students to reach more and more teachers whenever they require. And the last important bit is degrees and diplomas obtained through online mode are not valid. It's really a myth. Nowadays, every online mode certificate or a degree is valid. So both offline and online modes degrees are valid nowadays. So we have to remove these myths from the online kind of education system now. And the best important thing and the very need-based element of our present situation is examinations. Of course, when we started teaching and we completed our portions, we have done a lot of discussions with the students. We had given the assignments also. We taken back those assignments from WhatsApps or emails. We could evaluate them also. But what about the final examination? And Supreme Court has rightly stated that in the last year, higher education cannot be promoted without writing the final year examinations or the terminal semester examinations, which means every institution, every university has to organize examinations, conduct the examinations, especially for final year students. And even based on that suggestion, UGC has also made a rule that degrees cannot be granted without examination. And even recently UGC told that we should have the degree and post-graduation examinations in the month of August, so that the degrees would be granted to the students. And UGC has also recommended that if you want to have it through offline, yes, conduct it offline. If not possible, you can have it through online also. So both online and offline, or a combination of those methods, are also valid to conduct the examinations. And the best thing, if you conduct online examination, is try to restrict the copying aspect. How to do it actually? Yes, there are a lot of plagiarism softwares, and technology tools will be there for monitoring the examination and supervision of the students while writing the examinations. So such kind of software and technology can be utilized to conduct online examinations, so that we can have fair examination system. And even we can think of the open book examination also. It can be an alternative approach, but that's again a different kind of examination, and students need to be highlighted the pros and cons of open book examination, then only we can have it. So this is a very important element we should understand, and we should conduct the examination probably in the next month. And what are the important expectations because of this COVID-19 from students' point of view? Yes, now the students need to be digitally literate. They need to know the digital aspects, the digitally available content, and even they should know how to use the different software and hardware for attending the online classes as well as tests and examinations. And for teachers, yes, again the same thing. The teachers also need to be digitally well literate. Then they should aware of the different online repositories and the studio-based competencies they should have. They should record their own lessons. They should edit their own videos. They should create their own content, preparing the images, preparing the flow diagrams, and even the conduction of online teaching, assessment, evaluation, and even monitoring and counseling aspects are also need to be done individually as well as in groups through online mode. This is the need of the hour. And managements, they need to provide and supply all the ICT infrastructure to the classrooms, to the teachers, so that they can easily conduct the online classes and they can develop the content also for dissemination of the information to the students. So management part is also very important nowadays. And not only that, even the policy makers have to understand this scenario in a different perspective. And that's the reason why National Education Policy of 2020 has rightly mentioned that there can be up to 60% of the offline classes as well as 40% of the online classes for a course, which means in future also you can run your classes till 40% of the course through online. And restructuring of the workload is also very much needed to be changed, because whatever we teach in the conventional classroom cannot be equated with the online classroom now, because online classes will require more time. Online classes preparation will require more time in terms of development of content, in terms of designing the content, in terms of teaching, as well as in terms of assessment and evaluation. So hence that 14 and 16 hours of duration cannot fit with the new mode of teaching learning processes. So that has to be changed. So that's for the policymakers. And the very important thing is for the state government as well as the central government to need to provide ample opportunities, devices, infrastructure, and facilities to the students as well as teachers. Provide the devices and free Wi-Fi network to the teachers so that they can use it very easily in the institutions. And for the students also, if they provide more devices as well as the free internet facility, or in a low cost means, naturally students will also start using more and more online platforms, because in the entire world, India's rural bandwidth is very, very less. They have a very slow bandwidth in the entire world. So these are the important expectations from different stakeholders. And UGC has suggested few important measures for higher education institutions. Recently, in the month of July, it has suggested to have task force in each and every institution so that they can provide the help for the different stakeholders. Task forces may be the counselors and mentors. Each and every institution should have few counselors and mentors. They can provide the mental health support to the students, teachers, and even parents. And in this work, the NCC and NSS can also be utilized. So such kind of a task force need to be set up in each and every institution. This is one of the important measure the UGC has suggested. And the state governments should provide the disinfectants, because our institutions are still not infectant free, because most of the institutions have started recently. We haven't cleaned them properly. We haven't vaccinated all the students as well as teachers. So that's the reason why the state government has to take proper decisions and provide the support in making our institutions disinfectant, as well as providing the face masks and sanitizers to all the stakeholders who are present in the institutions. And there should be a linkage also with the district health centers, so that if any infected person will be identified in the institution, means that person should be sent to that particular hospital to take care. So that's the reason why UGC has suggested to all the higher education institutions as well as to the governments to take care of these things before starting the colleges and universities. And what about the budget allocations? Actually, budget allocations were not made by all the state governments. Maybe in the annual budgets, actually, there was a big chance to do that. They have kept the budgets for different aspects. But for higher education institutions, there was no proper budgets, actually. But for that, we can have the State Disaster Response Fund, which is transferred from the Ministry of Home Affairs. Already the fund has been transferred to the state government for 2021-22, and that amount or a fund can be utilized for making the infection-free institutions in the entire country. This is for the government. And WHO and UNESCO have also suggested for reopening of the schools. What has to be done? Yes, schools and colleges must have an operational budgets so that they can utilize that budget for making their institutions disinfected. That's the one important thing. Second important thing, boosting the confidence is very important, because after COVID-19, still many of the parents don't want to send their children to the colleges, and they are not affirmed that actually institutions are good and there will not be any corona effect. So that's the reason why the confidence building is also important aspect, and which has to be done by having different task forces in the individual institutions. In turn, those members can help the parents, students, and teachers of the schools and colleges create the awareness regarding the safety issues. And third important thing, provide hygiene facilities in each and every institution. There should be a clean washrooms, toilets, bathrooms with running water, so that the hygiene facilities would really help to make everyone disinfected. And collaborate and support with the NGOs, collaborate and support with the teachers, students, principals, or education officers, and even all the heads of the institutions who come under that particular region, so that they can work together to eradicate the problem, to overcome this problem. And NGOs and private sectors can also be very good partners in doing this. And make equity a top priority. Either it is a home-based learning or online learning or offline learning. Try to provide equal opportunity for all the students. Unless, if you do it only for the reachable candidates, the unreached groups of students will be really hampered in their learning process. So that's the reason why every learner is important to be considered for teaching learning process. And the seventh important point is, yes, physical and emotional well-being is very important. Mental health of the students need to be enhanced, need to be developed, need to be built in a very proper manner, so that the students will not be having any stress and anxiety in coming to the colleges and universities. We should remove that stress and anxiety of the COVID, so that we can invite them to the institutions, and there will be effective teaching learning process in the colleges and universities. And the very important thing is, assess the impact of COVID-19 on students' learning. In every college, it's very important. You being the teachers, you conduct a small research. What has happened in terms of their learning ability? What has happened in terms of their understanding ability? How best they learned in that particular period? And what are the missing links, so that you can provide when they come to the real classrooms. So such kind of small kind of research works are very much required for every institution to conduct and get a report and make a report on that. If possible, try to send that report to the government, so that government can plan in detail in terms of providing the help. It may be a financial help, it may be a infrastructural help, or it may be an appointment. So any kind of support will be expected based on your research. So these are the very important aspects every educational institution has to consider before reopening the classes. And this is the formula which we have to follow. Discuss well before inviting your students. Think properly whether the institutions are ready to receive them. Is there any hurdle? If there is a hurdle, there is a challenge, how to overcome it. To overcome it, what kind of plan we need to have. So make a proper plan, and based on that, we need to put our action. So discuss, plan, and action will definitely lead to improve the quality of higher education and protecting all the stakeholders. It's not just the students, we have to protect ourselves also. So hence, protecting and improving the quality of higher education is the need of the hour, and we can do it with the help of these three important steps. Unless, if you fail to plan, yes, you're planning to fail. That's what Benjamin Franklin says, and once Winston Churchill has rightly mentioned that those who fail to learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. Please remember, the third wave is also coming. Japan is also experiencing the sixth wave. We don't know how many waves will come. If we not understand the present situation, and make our preparations properly, we may expect the same kind of problems in future also. So thank you very much for your patient listening.